Hi, I'm author Lee Thompson, and welcome to my first video Q&A. Alright. So the first question comes from my friend and super talented Mercedes M. Yardley. You can find her at abrokenlaptop.com. Her question was, I'm amazed by your literary output. I also know that you'll simply not sleep when you're trying to hit a deadline. Could you tell me more about your writing schedule, both on a typical day and when you're on a tight deadline? My answer to that, I'll try to keep it brief, but it's hard to do sometimes. So, thanks for the question, Mercedes. When I started, I used to plan the novella, in advance, really, do an outline. And then I accumulated so many ideas that I started creating my own deadlines by saying, okay, I'm writing 4 novels this year, and they'll be whichever ideas are exciting me the most. I don't write every day. I spend every other day brainstorming a story, how I can make it stronger when I go back to the keyboard and write the next scene. I type very fast from playing a lot of guitar and a lot of typing. I process things very fast. I love to write in the middle of the night when everybody's sleeping, in the early afternoon when all my neighbors are at work. When it comes to my characters, I try to get out of their way and just let them speak and act. I also don't sweat actual business deadlines at all because I turn in the tightest manuscript that I can. When an editor sends me the changes they'd like to see, I tackle that task immediately instead of putting it off until tomorrow, because the sooner I take care of that, the quicker I can get back to the project I'm in the midst of creating. So, thanks for the question, Mercedes. And that's Mercedes M. Yardley, brokenlaptop.com. Alright, the next question, I have to look it up here because I haven't written down in Word. Next question comes from one of my pre-readers, Chris McCaffrey. He's a hell of a good guy, and his question was, given how busy and prolific you already are, I feel sort of guilty asking this, but I was wondering will he'll hear more about the folks in Division? And a precursor to the answer is Division's a huge mythos I'm creating, kind of like stuff Clive Barker's done, and it's in the dark fantasy category. But my answer is, don't feel guilty for being curious, Chris. As to when readers will hear more about the folks in my Division mythos, I'm not sure. I want to be a better writer than I am now when I tackle that novel where Frank Gunn, Boaz, and Jason stumble into Division and cross paths with Red Piccirilli, Michael Johnston, and John McDonnell. I'm guessing it'll be probably a couple years before I tackle that book. I don't write anything until I'm ready, when I have the energy and focus required for a specific project. And thanks for the question, and all the pre-reading you do. I really appreciate it. Right, the next question comes from one of my best friends. Well, probably my best friend. And a great writer who's on his way up, Sean Ryan. You can find him at backofthemirror.blogspot.com. And his question was, how does it feel to be an emerging gay author? Then he says, no. He says, since I'm well versed in your take on story and its telling, what is your greatest conflict with the publishing business as it stands today? And my answer, it feels great to be an emerging kind of gay author. I'm pumped to be a writer right now, and so many people are reading in all kinds of formats. And the second part of your question, what is my greatest conflict with the publishing business as it stands today? I'm not sure. I think my conflicts stem from inside me. Waiting is the hardest part. You wait to hear back on submissions, you wait for the first reviews to start appearing, you wait for word of mouth to spread and help grow your fan base, wait for your next royalty check or your next advance, But I stay busy, so the waiting only weighs on me sometimes for short spurts, mostly because of the anticipation and excitement it makes me feel. And then I realized, as I was answering Sean's question, that actually there is something that annoys me, or irritates me, or causes conflict. And that's the way people throw around the word luck. People are at the top of the writing game, they're top of NASCAR, football, speed shooting, professional sniper, businessmen, professional musicians. Those at the top don't get there by luck. You know, they learn from those who came before them. They develop and hone their skills. They acquire new skills. They use what innate talent they've been given, and they're specific about what they want to achieve, and they go about achieving their goals with a specific strategy. Luck won't sustain a career, but a vision of what you want to accomplish and the specific steps that work for you and that you put into practice will help you make a living at what you love. And again, thanks for the question, Sean. And it's thebackofthemirror.blogspot.com. Alright, the next question comes from a brat. Her name is Anita, and you can find her at thedarkiva.com. And Anita says, my question would be, how did you go about the world building for the Division mythos that you did, as it seems quite intricate and detailed? And my answer, hi Anita, I have tons of notebooks filled with notes. You know, there's some years of thought into it. I started the first book 8 years ago, or 10 years ago now. It was just published, Nursery Rhymes for Dead Children, 2 years ago. So I tended to look for patterns and connections between characters, places, the past, present, future, for each character. And it's probably 1,000 hours of careful reasoning. Certain settings made it easy to dig deeper into stories as well. Places like the Johnston Manor, New Wave Hospital, Our Lady of Mercy. And I'd say it's excitement and clarity combined with strong archaeological skills that helped me more than anything. And thanks for your question. And that's thedarkiva.com. Thanks, Anita. Alright, the next question comes from a fan and a friend named Bill. I don't know if he wants his last name said or not, I'm not sure. But actually he has 3 questions, so Bill's an over-the-top guy, obviously. His first question is, you've only been selling work since 2010, so you're a relative baby in the industry, but already have gathered quite a following and reputation. How does it feel to have had such success pretty early on in your career? And my answer? Alright, to be honest, Bill, it feels overwhelming at first. If I'd only written and sold 1 book instead of 10 in that time, I think it would have been easier. And all of it's gone by in a blur. You know, right now I'm trying unsuccessfully to slow down so I can enjoy each little success more. You know, I'm grateful for the fans I have, for those who've helped me learn, and those who helped spread the word, to editors who believed in and bought my work, to book reviewers who get the word out, to my pre-readers who offer so much help, to fellow writer Les Edgerton, who introduced me to his agent Chip McGregor, who's also excited about what I'm writing under several pen names. You know, I've had a lot of help. And his second question, Bill asked, it seems like you consistently have a lot of irons in the fire with your writing. How do you know when it's time to write a Lee Thompson, Thomas Morgan, James Logan, or Julian Vaughn work? Or do you just go wherever your artistic nature takes you? And the answer on that is very simple. Yeah, that part's probably the easiest choice in my writing career, since I write whichever book is burning the hottest in my imagination. And Bill's third question, did you know when you wrote the first Division story that it would grow into its own world of connected stories and characters? And how cool is it to have created your own mythos? And the answer, I didn't know until I'd written Before Lenore Wakes, the first Red Pickerelly book, Iron Butterfly's Rust, the first Frank Gunn novella, and Nursery Rhymes for Dead Children, the first book when young Pickerelly's an old man and his nephew, John McDonald, is kind of taking the torch from him without realizing it. So once I realized they were all part of the bigger story, it excited the hell out of me. You know, Red Pickerelly's childhood, Before Lenore Wakes, Within His Garden Weeping, and the collected songs of St. Liam, which all combined to make the first book, set the tone of the mythos and are the backbone of everything else that these bizarre characters go through and what they cause to happen. So, thanks for the questions, Bill. Alright, last question for this first session comes from another pre-reader, Charlene, and she can be found at, let me find it, charlene.booklikes.com. She's a slow lady, and she asked, how did you come up with the idea for When We Join Jesus in Hell, which so far in the last couple of years has been my most popular novella? And the answer is I don't remember how I came up with the idea for it. The truth is, ideas come so quickly, and I write them so quickly that I've had to dig out the journal. I'd have to dig out the journal when I tackled writing that story. Since I wrote that novella and sold it in early 2012, I've written 6 novels: The Lesser People, Earthly Things, Gossamer, Beautiful Madness, Savage Autumn, and An Ounce of Mercy. So yeah, I don't know where the idea for When We Joined Jesus in Hell came from. It feels like I wrote that novella a lifetime ago. And thanks for the question, Charlene. That's charlene.booklikes.com. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you visit my website at leethompsonfiction.com. You can sign up for my newsletter. And if you have a question, you can find my email address on my bio page at leethompsonfiction.com. Alright? I hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.